By Deborah Misir. She is a former ethics attorney in the White House counsel's office. Thank you so much for coming on. All right, couple deadlines here. Okay, so the Cohen deadline's 5 o'clock. The Manafort deadline is midnight tonight. What are we going to learn from Mueller's court filings on Manafort and Cohen?
Well, basically, let's start with Mueller.
Okay.
Mueller, he's indicated to the judge that he's basically withdrawing from the plea deal. He's not going to recommend minimum or reduced sentencing for Mr. Manafort. And, based on what he says are lies and potentially new crimes committed by Mr. Manafort.
Michael Cohen has pleaded that he does not believe he deserves prison time because he has, first of all, pleaded guilty. He has admitted to lying on numerous issues, and he believes he has cooperated with the special counsel. It doesn't seem, though, that Robert Mueller sees it that way, and he is going to recommend something to a judge. A judge here in New York has asked that he come up with a recommendation. What do you believe he's going to recommend?
I think that Mueller is going to say he didn't cooperate to this extent he should have under the plea deal. I mean, Mr. Manafort was looking at, by my count, about 15 years before this plea deal fell apart.
Right.
Mr. Manafort could be looking at a new trial on the 10 counts he pled guilty to, potentially new charges based on the claims of new lies.
Wow. So the special counsel's team, they're supposed to explain why it accused former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort in imploding his plea deal. I mean, we're talking about the fact that he imploded his plea deal by lying to investigators. And when you cop a plea, that is when you tell the truth, because that is how you are going to spare yourself prison time if you are found guilty and you are convicted. Will he be punished further because of that?
Well, that's absolutely true, but we got to take a look at and see exactly what kinds of lies Mr. Mueller is alleging.
Right.
Now, let's take a look example for the Papadopoulos case, another individual caught up in this Trump investigation. He's been accused of lying to Mr. Mueller, but based on minimization in terms of minimizing the importance of a meeting.
Right.
So it's it can range from I didn't have the meeting to the meeting wasn't that important.
All right. I want to pull up some sound from Alan Dershowitz. He was on Newsroom talking about the president dangling pardons in the faces of some, and I want your reaction. Go ahead and play that.
People complain all the time that President Trump may have dangled pardons in front of people, and that constitutes tampering with witnesses and bribery. Think of what the government does every day, what prosecutors do every day. They literally bribe witnesses by their freedom, sometimes their life, and their money.
What do you make of that?
I agree with Mr. Dershowitz. The president has complete pardon power under the U.S. Constitution. He can say he's going to pardon someone, and really there's nothing much anyone can do about it. He has that absolute right.
All right. Yeah, he certainly does. But, of course, when he has a right, people love to attack the fact that he is just, you know, pushing through his power as the president of the United States, unfortunately.
Absolutely. You know, Julie, sometimes we forget in the Mueller investigation that Mr. Mueller is exercising authority granted to him by the president.
Right.
He's an agent of the president. So the president is the chief law enforcement officer, effectively.
All right. Deborah, thank you very much for coming in. We appreciate you coming in today.